Thanks, Rajiv. Welcome to ICRISAT. It's really pleasing to see you all here, and I've welcomed a few groups in the 6 weeks I've been at ICRISAT since I joined in early January. So it's really a pleasure to see so many people from around the world coming to this really exciting conference. I have to give this welcome on behalf of our new DG as well, David Bergvinson. David's really sorry that he's not here for this opening session. He's very interested in this domain and knows much more than I. So he is coming towards the end of the conference, so you'll see him, I think, on the last day in the closing session. So David's wishes us all the best and is very sorry that he can't be here. I'm here to provide some opening remarks. I think that gives me a free-for-all for saying whatever I wanted in terms of the context of this conference. And I thought I'd give you my take on genomics and breeding, which is really quite little for the job I'm in now at ICRISAT. Can I go back just quickly over my career in 3 stages? I did, in 1982 and 83, I spent 2 seasons here at ICRISAT doing Paul Millet physiology work as part of my PhD with Fran Bittinger. So I remember sitting in this room down here at one of these meetings and thinking this was a huge auditorium and all these important people. Who would have thought I could be standing up here welcoming you 30 odd years later after that time as a research scholar here. Great times. And then I had a 30-year career in CSIRO, starting off with physiology, mainly on the mandate crops of ICRISAT, sorghum, millet, the grain legumes. That led to crop modelling, the building of APSIM, which many in the room here, or some in the room might know about. Farming systems research, how can farmers use these tools to improve their productivity? Seeing whether decision support systems will work, leading to a product in Australia now called Yield Profit, which is an online subscriber system that any farmer in Australia can access APSIM to help in their management. So that's been a fun career. But when I reflect in the context of this meeting, basically I've spent that time making the case against the overinvestment in breeding and crop improvement and underinvestment in risk management. So it's really quite interesting that I'm in this place now talking about new next generation genomics and integrated breeding. And so that's led to some reflection. I'm 6 weeks at ICRISAT and I've had to take a greater interest in breeding and genomics, and I have to thank Hima, Spurthu, Leica, Pallavi and Abby in the Grain Legumes Genomics program, for Jason and Santosh and his team in the Cereal Genomics program, because they've provided me with a fast 101 course on genomics, and so I knew nothing some time ago, and now I know a little bit, enough to be dangerous. What I learned is that crop and plant physiology is part of genomics. It's really integral to genomics, about connecting physiology and agronomy, and I find that really pleasing as a crop physiologist from a long time back. I recall a paper that was written by some of my colleagues, Phil Jackson, Mike Robertson, Graham Hammer, and Mark Cooper in 1996, where they surveyed a number of breeders around the role of physiological understanding in crop breeding. And they had responses from a questionnaire, and the conclusion was that breeders took no notice of crop physiologists. Well, very little notice. So that was 20 years ago. And so it's really pleasing now to see when you talk to people in genomics, they start off with looking at the physiology, the phenotyping and how that might connect. So that was really pleasing to get that lesson. So thanks. Genomics is creating great opportunities for fantastic science. I've seen that in the papers that have been put before me. Also for young scientists and for bringing more women into agriculture research. I think they're really aspects that I've noticed in my time here. So that's really encouraging. And of course, crop improvement has to be critical, has been critical in the past and has to be critical to our future. So my earlier statement about railing against breeding in Australia was not to say that we shouldn't invest in these areas. It's about where the investment can lead to impact. And I want to point to a paper that I published last year with Brian Keating and colleagues, where we again survey. I sound like a social scientist, you know, with all these surveys and no hard data, but we surveyed a number of people, prominent people around the world working on food security, and asked them where they think the solution space for the coming food demand that we see out to 2050. So there's plenty of papers and analysis saying that we have to increase our food production by 70% in the next 30 years. But what's the solution space to be able to achieve that? And so we propose that there's really 3 food wedges and possibly 14 pathways you can invest in. So reducing demand, like how much waste is out there, overconsumption, biofuel, you know, the good biofuel policies. People thought that was about 20% of the solution space. Pathways that increase production and productivity, 46% of the solution space. And pathways involved in avoiding losses and future production potential is 34%. And if you look at the contribution that these experts were saying might come from using existing technologies and closing yield gaps, about 15% of the solution space would sit there, and crop improvement and breeding about 15%. So these experts surveyed, admittedly in the context that we gave them, are saying about 15% of the solution to reaching this future food demand is going to come from crop improvement and breeding. That's an interesting thought, because I think many out there would think that we need these new varieties and technology breakthroughs that have to give a much greater contribution. But anyway, in the context of this conference, next generation sequencing techniques are gaining importance. ICRISAT, through the work of Rajiv and Stefania and their teams, are really trying to be at the forefront for our mandate crops. And so there is genomic sequencing done for pigeon pea, chickpea, work being done on pearl millet and groundnut. We have a Centre for Excellence in Genomics that has high throughput genomics capability, which is really quite impressive. And we've been able to attract you here. So it's 340 or so delegates from 31 countries. And we're going to bring skills in genomics, phenomics, breeding, integrated crop management, and Rajiv gave me some speaking notes here, and he put crop modelling here. I think he just did that for me. So it's really pleasing to see that crop modelling might have a role as well. So congratulations, Rajiv, and your team, Anu and others, for the great work in being able to organise such an important conference and have so many people here. I'm looking forward to continuing my learning, to go from year 1 genomics. I might graduate into year 2 by the end of these 3 days. So I'm looking forward to learning much. And good wishes. I hope everybody has an excellent stay on our fabulous campus. The team here that provide the facilities, the food, the resourcing are really fabulous. So I hope you enjoy the next few days, and I'm looking forward to meeting many of you. So welcome, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Peter, for very inspiring words and then giving an overview to bring the different technology for crop improvement.